With all eyes on you and hidden cameras rolling from secret rooms, no one can still explain your authenticity as the chosen one. Behind the scenes, as they try to watch every detail, to decipher your every move, they are speechless at what they see. Because you have the seal of God on you, your light is too bright to be hidden, even by ordinary lenses. No matter what angle they look from, they cannot change the holiness of your destiny. Your presence has become a force that tears through even the darkest veil, and no one can define you by the old stories anymore. Write 99 in the comments now, because you are the clearest sign of the chosen ones, whose mystery cannot be solved, whose power cannot be questioned, even though you are in the public eye. Get ready. This truth will be talked about even more. Imagine the way a lighthouse stands on the edge of the ocean, its steady beam cutting through every storm, guiding ships home no matter how wild the waves. That's what happens every time you set foot on spiritual battlegrounds. Every force that tried to corner you, every plot laid to trip you up, gets scattered like fog in sunlight. They see you coming, head high, walking in the kind of authority that only heaven can commission. And suddenly, the opposition that barked and bit in the dark dissolves into nothing but a hush. Like wild dogs, feeling the ground shake before a lion even appears, every adversary senses the power in your steps, and their courage vanishes. Just like a mighty oak tree standing tall after the storm, you are rooted deeper every time the winds try to knock you over. Each accusation tossed at you is like a gust meant to uproot, but instead, it only helps your branches stretch higher toward the light. Beloved, let me remind you, every scheme designed to trip you was actually training you. Every harsh word was like fertilizer, making your spiritual foundation richer, your leaves greener, and your fruits sweeter for the world to taste. You've had folks gather in back rooms and in whispered phone calls, stitching together stories meant to choke out your shine. They thought their tangled webs would hold you, but you walked right through as if their strings were made of morning mist. You were marked, targeted, gossiped about in circles that called themselves wise, but your path only grew clearer as you trusted the voice that called you chosen. See, what they sent to wound you was turned to wisdom in your hands. Every false rumor, every look meant to shame, every closed door, God used each one to build a staircase beneath your feet. Instead of falling, you ascended. Like rainwater slipping off an eagle's wings, none of their attacks could stain what heaven had anointed. You soared above it all, not weighed down, but carried higher by the very storm meant to stop you. You're not carrying bitterness. You're shining with a resilience they can't imitate. They see you now, still smiling, still working, still loving without keeping score, and it baffles them. How can you glow after all that? They don't know about the roots beneath the soil, the secret prayers, the nights of surrender that turned pressure into pearls. They hold on to their empty threats now, stunned into silence, clutching curses that never landed and plans that fell flat at your feet. Every word they meant for harm has circled back and left them facing their own shadow. Because, beloved, when God clothes you in the armor of a true champion, the storm becomes your stage, and every attack is transformed into testimony. You're not just weathering spiritual warfare. You're radiating a strength that turns every battlefield into holy ground, every attack into a song of triumph. And now, the world can only stand back and wonder at the invincible glory that walks with you, because your victory is the story that simply can't be rewritten by any hand but God's. Let this be your assurance. Just like that lighthouse blazing undimmed in the darkest hour, your calling cannot be hidden, your authority cannot be counterfeited, and your victory cannot be denied. This is the legacy of the chosen. Each trial, each plot, every enemy's failed campaign only polishes the crown God set upon your head before the first storm ever broke. And while the world may not always understand how you remain unshaken, heaven knows exactly who you are, a living witness that when light walks into a room, darkness can only retreat. Let's paint a picture as simple and true as sunrise. Just as a child might splash in puddles with a raincoat that keeps every drop at bay, you are clothed in a spiritual armor that no blade can pierce and no word can tarnish. Your life radiates that unmistakable protection, heaven's own light pouring over you, shielding you from every storm that might try to darken your day. When others plotted to catch you in their snares, their nets unraveled at the seams, leaving them grasping at empty air. When secret meetings spun webs of deceit behind closed doors, it was as if an invisible breeze swept through and dissolved every strand before it could tighten around you. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom. For you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Picture yourself walking through fields after a rainstorm, mud everywhere, but your path is firm and dry, the way miraculously cleared just for you. Every trap laid to catch your foot has instead captured the very hands that built it. The very ground their schemes were planted in has shifted beneath them, swallowing up their designs and leaving you untouched and upright. It's like walking under a canopy of unbreakable glass. The stones thrown from jealous hearts simply fall at your feet, powerless to break your spirit. The world may have tried to rain on your parade, but you became the sunbeam that turned every storm cloud silver, every late-night plot, every whispered campaign, every false alliance. They all fell apart in the presence of the divine favor you carry. There's a kind of holy reversal at work in your story, beloved. Where others sowed seeds of sabotage, only wildflowers have sprung up. Where they dug pits, you found stepping stones. Where they tried to use darkness as a weapon, you became a beacon so bright they had to shield their eyes. They tangled themselves in their own cords while you marched forward, liberated by grace, untouched by harm. You are living proof that what was meant for your downfall becomes a testimony of your elevation. Like a beacon on a hill, your victory is not quiet or hidden, but shines as a guide for anyone else walking through the valley of shadow. And the best part? You emerge not just free, but brimming with blessings, radiating boldness, ready for whatever sacred assignment God has prepared next. This is not just survival, this is supernatural promotion. And as you move ahead, your very presence changes the atmosphere, because what God has covered, nothing in this world can uncover or undo. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Picture it like this. You're walking through a field, and every stone tossed your way turns to a seed that bursts into wildflowers right at your feet. That's the supernatural turnaround working in your favor, beloved. While others are busy plotting, heaven is busy planting. transforming every insult, every backhanded move into fresh evidence that divine justice is in full effect over your life. Where the world expects retaliation, you answer with a harvest. When they launch their arrows, not only do those arrows fall short, but they turn to blessings as soon as they hit your shield. Just think about it. In the old days, people could throw dirt on your name and walk away, certain their lies would stick. But now, God has positioned you as a living witness, a lightning rod that grounds every negative charge sent in your direction. Before a rumor can take root, it gets scorched by the heat of truth, radiating from your spirit. And when they try to conjure up old curses, those curses bounce back, boomerang style, leaving them wondering why their own chaos keeps circling home. It's not magic. It's the law of spiritual reciprocity written into the very fabric of your calling. Beloved, this is the season where consequences run on heaven's schedule, not theirs. In the past, you might have seen delays, justice dragging its feet, vindication taking the scenic route. But now, God's clock has synchronized with your steps. The minute they set a trap, the mechanism snaps back in their own direction. Every attempt to trip you up becomes a divine opportunity for your elevation. Their pit is the ground where your roots go deeper, where your faith finds fresh water and springs up stronger than ever before. There's something powerful about the way you absorb these attacks. Like a mighty oak, weathering every storm, you stand unshaken as thunder rumbles and wind howls. Yet, the only thing those storms bring you is new rings of wisdom, new branches stretching out to shelter others. You don't just survive adversity, you multiply through it. You carry a spiritual resilience that makes heaven's armies stand at attention. Let's make this plain, friend. The very weapons forged against you become museum pieces, relics of the enemy's failed campaigns, testimonies to your anointing. No matter how many gather against you, their strategies unravel, their alliances splinter, and their power dissolves like sand through open fingers. You are living proof that the plans of the wicked cannot prosper when God has stamped you as chosen. And every time someone rises up to curse you, it's like they're trying to block the sunrise with a paper umbrella. It just can't be done. Your destiny was written before any enemy plotted your downfall. The spiritual boomerang in your hand is God's assurance that nothing launched against you will ever prosper, and everything meant for evil will return as a witness of your favor. So, walk boldly in this revelation. Know that you are not at the mercy of the crowd, nor the schemes of your adversaries. You are guided, guarded, and glorified by the Most High. Keep your eyes on the blessings blooming at your feet, and let your spirit rest in the unshakable truth that divine recompense is your birthright. When you move forward, move like the one who knows every thrown stone will only decorate your path, because heaven's defense system is activated, and every battle ends with you standing tall, crowned by the grace no scheme could ever take away. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. Let that settle in your heart today. You are the living testimony that God's justice is real and His promises never miss their target. The field of your life is bursting with miracles, and every day the world watches as you walk out what they never thought possible, turning their attacks into altars and their plots into praises. This is your moment to flourish, chosen one. This is your legacy, secured by a hand far greater than any opponent's reach. Imagine a humble bridge, built not by grand architects, but by those who know how to hold heavy stones together, standing firm when the river floods its banks. That's what it means to be chosen in this season, commissioned as heaven's anchor point, where chaos turns to calm just because you're standing in the gap. You're not flashing a badge for the world to see. You're the one steadying the trembling crowd when thunder rolls and the sky splits open. The storms that made others turn back become the very currents that carry you forward, guiding your steps like invisible hands on your shoulders. The words you speak become blueprints, and the world reconfigures itself to the contours of your voice. It's like when you say, "Let there be peace." The winds hush, and when you decree favor, every blessing that was wandering lost finds your address. In places where curses circled and fear was planted, now new seeds break ground, seeds watered by the hope that flows out of your own endurance. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. And beloved, that's not just for your own survival. You're here as heaven's lighthouse, illuminating the rocks for ships who lost their compass in the storm. The light in you isn't just for you. It marks the safe harbor, drawing weary travelers back home. The elements that used to threaten ruin now bow in deference, parting to make way for the one commissioned to speak order into the tempest. And when you open your mouth to bless, it's like a key turning in the lock, swinging open doors that nobody thought could ever be opened again. You're not just weathering the storm. You are the one the storm bows before, called to declare heaven's verdict until the landscape itself is rewritten. This is the mantle of the chosen. The very chaos that should have undone you has become your pulpit, your platform, and your promise. So keep speaking what God gives you to speak. Keep blessing what the world said couldn't be blessed, and watch as heaven's own order springs up under your feet. You're not just surviving, you're establishing the new foundation, and every force that once stood against you now serves as proof that your commission was real from the very beginning. Let the world see what happens when a child of destiny stands up and commands the storm to clear, not with a shout, but with the quiet, steady authority of someone who knows who sent them. That's what it means to be chosen, beloved. That's what it means to be the keeper of heaven's lighthouse in the middle of the wildest gale. Imagine a field after a gentle spring rain, the soil rich and ready for new life. That's what happens when your words leave your lips. They settle deep into the ground of possibility and sprout into a forest of blessings that even the doubters can't ignore. For most folks, talk is just background chatter, a breeze that stirs the dust and then disappears. But when you speak, your voice carries the power to shift the climate, rearrange the clouds, and make it rain favor where there's been drought for years. See, what you declare isn't just a wish floating on the wind. It's a divine contract. Every yes and amen from your spirit gets stamped in heaven's record books, and creation responds like obedient waves to the moon. When you declare, "Opportunity flows to me now," It's as if the phone lines heat up. Doors you never even knew about creak open on their hinges, and provision comes pouring in from unexpected corners of the earth. Those who scoffed at your faith can't help but marvel as your life becomes a living testimony, page by page, day by day. It's like you're planting apple seeds in the middle of winter. Folks may not see the harvest right away, but spring is coming. And when it arrives, even the coldest critics find themselves standing under the shade of what you believed for in the dark. That's how your testimony grows. Quietly at first, then suddenly it covers the whole landscape. Doubters turn into witnesses, and those who rolled their eyes at your prayers start asking how to get seeds of their own. Beloved, your voice is an instrument tuned by the hand of the Almighty. Every word you release in faith is a note in a song that heaven can't help but amplify. Miracles sprout up, not just around you, but through you. You're not just speaking for yourself. You're giving courage to a whole generation, waiting to see if God's promises still bloom. And as the story unfolds, everyone who thought it was just noise will have to admit that your words carried the weather of a new season, and your faith harvested the abundance that their doubt could never plant. So keep planting those declarations in the soil of expectancy. Watch what God grows from your lips, because in the end, your harvest is the proof that faith isn't just for talkers, it's for those who dare to speak, believe, and receive in the name of the one who makes all things possible. Imagine a garden gate that's been rusted shut for generations, its hinges sealed by the dust of forgotten years. Now picture the gardener returning, not with force, but with a touch, and every stubborn bolt melts away. That's the spirit you carry, chosen one. Places designed to keep you out. Hidden committees, silent codes, tight-lipped guards lose all their grip the moment you step forward. There's a gentle authority in your presence, the kind that doesn't shout but still shifts the room. People who once memorized the rules for your exclusion now stumble over their own instructions, forgetting the script as if the old playbook had gone missing overnight. It's the simplest acts, your honest handshake, your steady gaze, your willingness to listen, that start rearranging the whole atmosphere. The boardroom that used to be a fortress turns into a place of welcome. The family table that once had a missing chair suddenly feels whole again. Hearts soften, alliances form, not from manipulation, but from an unmistakable pull toward your authenticity. It's like a compass resetting true north, drawing scattered needles back into order. You're not squeezing through cracks. You're watching walls dissolve, as if the whole building had been waiting to recognize its architect. And let's put it in plain language, friend. This isn't just you finally getting a seat. This is destiny drawing up a chair for you at the head of the table, in a house that heaven itself prepared before the foundation of the world. You're not simply being allowed in. You're being embraced, respected, and celebrated, because something in the atmosphere knows that what you bring is what was missing all along. See, when God marks you as the gardener, every locked gate becomes a doorway for new growth. Systems that tried to shut you out are about to bloom in ways they never expected, because your spirit carries a seed that only you can plant. The soil of the world has been longing for your roots, and now, wherever you go, the closed places remember how to open. Keep walking in, beloved. Every room, every table, every opportunity that once turned you away is sensing it's time for a new era, the one you were born to cultivate. Just like that ancient gate swinging wide for the gardener's hand, every barrier falls before the blessing you're destined to bring. Picture this: You're walking into a field that looks empty, but as you take each step, flowers bloom at your feet, and a path appears where there was only overgrown brush. That's what it feels like when God's favor goes before you. Unexpected hands reach out like bridges over deep rivers, strangers become supporters overnight, and resources arrive right on schedule. Never late, never lost. It's as if the Lord Himself went ahead with a divine toolkit, smoothing the rough places, placing just the right people at every mile marker, making sure you can't miss your appointment with destiny. Now is the time to share God's blessings. By clicking the super thank you button on YouTube, you can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. You might think you're traveling alone, but every time you turn a corner, there's evidence that the author of the universe has already scripted help, hope, and provision into the story just ahead. Doors swing open in buildings you never knew existed. Encouragement lands in your inbox from voices you've never met, but who somehow know just what you need to hear. Support shows up in unlikely places, sometimes in the form of a neighbor's smile, sometimes as a new opportunity that seems tailor-made for your calling. And beloved, this isn't coincidence. It's kingdom choreography. Like a symphony that swells just as you enter the concert hall, every note, every connection, every encounter is a reminder that you are not the orchestrator, but the chosen instrument. God weaves together threads from distant places, building a tapestry so rich and so perfectly timed that when you finally step back, you'll see a design only heaven could conceive. It's not just about people showing up for you. It's about the Spirit aligning circumstances, changing minds, and shifting policies before you even arrive. When you need strength, it comes. When you need wisdom, it's whispered into your spirit. When you need protection, the shield is already up. You don't have to force the doors or beg for favor. The way is being made by invisible hands that honor your obedience and faith. So trust the process, chosen one. Walk forward knowing you are escorted by angelic assignments and surrounded by favor like a shield. The field may have looked barren, but the harvest is waiting, planted by God's own hand, prepared for you to gather, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Where one stream is dammed, 3 new rivers break through. Maybe they blocked the promotion, cancelled the order, closed the door on your old plans. No matter, unexpected grants, inheritances, or fresh opportunities show up where nobody was even looking. The numbers you wrote in your private prayers match the deposits in your account. It's not luck, it's alignment. Your spoken faith acts as the code that unlocks these new reservoirs of abundance. Even in moments that would flatten others, you bounce back stronger than before. Like a tree struck by lightning that sprouts 100 new branches, every attack that tries to uproot you only makes your roots go deeper. Setbacks become setups for your next level. Wounds close in record time. Betrayals can't stick to you. Even the spaces and people you touch begin to transform, healing, growing, thriving. just from being in your atmosphere. Victory is not just possible, it's inevitable. Every fight you've been through was rigged in your favor from the start. The ones who tried to celebrate your downfall have ended up cheering your rise, forced to admit that the outcome was never in doubt. The grand comeback they feared is happening right now, and you're living proof that no attack can override a destiny written in heaven's ink. So don't let up now, chosen one. You're not just here to prove you're tough, you're here to fulfill a purpose older than any enemy, a calling that won't be stopped by human plans. Your words build futures. Every step you take writes new history. Keep your head high and your heart open, because every trial is turning into a platform. You're not just shielded by heaven, you are heaven's shield on earth, the one the angels watch and celebrate as the ultimate defense in a world gone wild. Like the roots of an ancient oak gripping the earth in a hurricane, you're unshakable, immovable, and growing stronger with every passing storm. Stand tall, keep speaking, keep believing. The world has never seen someone quite like you. And now, not even the forces that gather in secret can stop the radiance you carry. This is more than survival. It's supernatural victory, and it's just getting started.